book is The Boy in the Dress by David Walliams. It's really funny and enjoyable, and the main character is a boy called Dennis. He is really good at football, but he has a hidden secret. He reads a girl magazine called Vogue. It's all about fashion, and he doesn't want anyone to know about it because he's quite embarrassed, but he just can't help it. He also really likes dresses as well because that's what's in the magazine, and he's thought about actually dressing up in a dress, but he's not really entirely sure because he didn't want anyone to see him. His mum and dad in the past have divorced, so he's left with just his dad and his brother John, who is older than him, and they're all a football family, so they all like football. But since Mum had left, his dad, they don't actually have proper names. It's just Mum and Dad. His dad, he has strict rules because he's made some changes since she's gone. There's no hugging unless if they're watching football and someone scores, and there is no mentioning Mum at all. And when she left, he made a big bonfire with all the pictures and burnt them into cinders and ashes, which I thought was quite sad at that point, but then it gets really funny later. However, Dennis has actually saved one. It's a bit scorched at the side, but it's a picture of them and his mum on the beach, and she's wearing like a really big flowery yellow dress, and he can't help looking at the dress. At school, he has a best friend called Dardesh, who is Hindu, but they're best friends and they both really like football. And at one point he headers a tennis ball into the headmaster's window and he gets into a lot of trouble. So he ends up in detention, and he's the only one. There's two people in detention, him and a girl called Lisa. And Lisa, when they're writing their lines, he noticed that she's doodling dress designs, and then they make friends because they both like dresses. They both read Vogue. So it's a really good book. I would recommend it for even year twos up could read it because it's not a hard read, but it's very fun and it's very enjoyable. Thank you for listening.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of Tom Gates' Dog Zombies World. So I really like this book. I think it's aimed for boys, and I'll give it a 5-star rating. This is created by Lise Pichon. And also, I like this book because A, humour, B, fun doodles, B, nice storyline, D, literally everything else. So my favourite part of the book is when they're trying to make their first song. They're trying to make a big music video, and literally what they're trying to do is just make Dog Zombies the best band in the world for now. And steps to do that: write more songs, make a spectacular music video, easy. Get some sleep. It's very tricky when you're being kept awake by loud noises. Annoy Delia. Nothing to do with dog zombies, but of course always fun.
Good morning. This book is Secret 7 Puzzle for the Secret 7. It is one of the 14 books of the Secret 7 series. It is written by Enid Blyton and illustrated by Tony Ross. This is my favorite book because my kind of genre is adventure and mystery. And in this book, it is about the Secret 7, Peter, Janet, Jack, Barbara, Pam, Colin and George. They saw a house going in flames, and then later on that week they saw a burglary. George and Colin saw a burglary of a very old violin, but it's actually very valuable. So the Secret 7 tried to see if the events are connected. Peter is my favourite character because he's very knowledgeable and he's always like telling the Secret 7 what to do, and also he's very funny, and so is Scamper because Enid Blyton makes it seem that Scamper can actually understand them, so he's very funny. I would rate this book for maybe year 4s because it is not that hard to read and it is very humorous. I'll give this book a 4.5 out of 5 because it's very humorous, it's very interesting, it keeps you captivated, but the thing is that it's too short, so because it's only 148 pages, so if it was longer, people would want to read them more. Enid Blyton has written another series called The Famous Five, and yeah.
My review is on The Midnight Gang by David Walliams. I chose this book because it's funny at points where it's supposed to be funny and sad where it's supposed to be sad. It all started when Tom, a boy at St. Willits, is playing cricket. Then the heavy cricket ball hits him in the head. When he wakes up, he finds himself on a trolley at a hospital called Lord Font, which should have been demolished years ago. He meets the porter there, who was abandoned as a baby. He turns out to be a different man to who Tom actually expects to be. The porter takes him up to the children's ward, where Tom meets the other characters in the story. George, who is quite portly and is in hospital for diabetic reasons. Amber, who is extremely bossy, is an extremely bossy person who likes to take control of everything and thinks she's the best, but has broken arms and legs. Robin has had an operation on his eyes and is fond of classical music and exceedingly sarcastic. Sally is a very ill person who wants to live a big life but cannot because she has cancer, and you'll feel empathy for this character because of how ill she is. I would give this book 5 stars because of the empathy you feel for the characters and how upset and happy the story is at certain points. The novel is one of the 7 different stories written by the famous David Walliams. I would rate this for around year 3 and 4 because it's very easy to read and quite humorous. Thank you for listening.
doing a book about R.L. Stein's Vampire Bread, and it's a Goosebumps book. The story is, I would rate this book 4 stars, and I recommend it for year 3s as it's not very hard to read. And the story is about 2 kids named Freddie and Cara who at the beginning of the book babysits this kid named Charlie, and Freddie likes scaring Charlie, but it's for fun, and he's telling him werewolf stories, and then Cara tells him to stop. And Cara and Freddie met when they were fighting in a playground in year 4, and they like play fighting, so that's good. And then when the parents come home, they tell Freddie and Cara not to scare Charlie because he last time got nightmares. And the next day, Cara comes around to Freddie's house, and then they were playing in the attic, and then somehow a vase falls over, and they find a big secret passageway, and they just leave, and it's just going on forever. And then finally they find a coffin, and then when they said they just want to get out of here, there's a noise from the coffin, and then they look again, and they find out there's a vampire in it, and then they start running, but the vampire catches them. But I'm not going to say what happens next because I don't want to spoil it. And thank you.
Hello. The book I had chosen is called Witches by Roald Dahl. My favourite character is a boy called George, and his grandma, who basically go to this hotel, and they find out there's a secret meeting of witches. My favourite part is when the witches are when the grandmother tells the boy George about the witches and how to recognise them. For instance, it's like the witches always have long gloves, pointed shoes, and wear wigs with hats because they're bold. They have mega nails, and their feet are square, at the end at least. The characters are Bruno Jenkins, Mr. Jenkins, Mrs. Jenkins, William the waiter, who just basically serves grandma and the boy. Bruno Jenkins is my second favourite character because he's the sort of person who eats tons, and those people are just hilarious to me. The illustrator is Quentin Blake, and the boy George and Bruno were turned into mice at some point, miraculously, and they find out that the Queen of Witches in the whole wide world is there. Thank you for listening. I would rate this book a strong 4 and 3/4 out of 5. The only bit I think it's missing is a bit more plot about the ending scenes, which I'm not going to tell you. I would recommend this book for year 5 and 6 because at the start there's this really creepy bit that still creeps me out. Thank you.
Good morning. Today I will be talking about A Tiny Bit Lucky by Tom Gates by Liz Peasham. This book is about a boy called Tom going to middle school and always forgets his homework. Tom is my favourite character because he hates his teacher, Mr. Fullerman. He has the most beadiest eyes. His worst enemy is Marcus Mildrew. He always sits next to him. My favourite part in the story is at the end when Tom writes a book about the worst recipe. It's so funny as they always do very bad cooking. I rate this book 5 out of 5 because it's very humorous and I like the doodles. I think this should be rated. I recommend this book for year 3 and over. Thank you for listening.
Today I'll be talking about my favourite book called A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. This book is about three children called the Baudelaires, which are orphans. Their parents have been killed in a fire. Through their whole lives, there has been a mystery of events, and they don't know why. This is book 11. and it's about the Grim Grotto. In this book, they are trying to find the Sugar Bowl, which is a mysterious artifact which can help them on their ride to defeat their enemies. They also have a secret organization called the VFD, which can be named for many things. This is my favorite chapter of the story. So the Baudelaire children have just gone down the stricken stream and they found a submarine. They've met somebody in the submarine, which is a volunteer of the VFD, and have helped them. He says many things like, "Don't rush. No, take your time. Don't fall. No, mind your step. A, don't trip. Don't make noise. Don't scare me. Don't look down. No, look where you're going. Don't bring any flammable liquids with you. Watch your feet. A, no, watch your back. No, watch your mouth. No, watch yourselves." He also says a numbers. He also says lots of A, like A, the voice A. Sonny whispered to her siblings. A, Claus explained quietly, is another word for yes, he said. Claus is my favorite character. Claus is one of my favorite characters because he's very knowledgeable and he says a lot of things and he knows a lot of words. He also helps the children a lot because he understands charts, which can help them find the Sugar Bowl. My next favorite character is Sunny because she's a baby and she says funny words that make me laugh. She also can bite things enormously fast, and her biting is probably better than a great white shark. Also, she has an extremely good cooking experience, and she could probably be on the junior chef show. My next favorite character is Violet Baudelaire because she can invent things with things just around her, if anything. And to do this, she puts a tie around her head, a tie like ribbon around her head, and that makes her concentrate. The enemy in this book is Count Olaf, which is trying to get hands on the Baudelaire fortune. He's the one that set the fire in year 4s and over because it's quite hard to read and there's a lot of mysteries, and nearly every single chapter leaves you on a hook, which wants you to read on. I rate this book out of 5 stars, 5, because it's interesting and it's funny.